Hello, welcome back to The Experiment and House of Leaves, YouTube video essayist. Anyway, welcome back to The Experiment. This week's essay was written on the 15th of the 1st, 2023, and it was started at 12:34 a.m. This essay is titled On Myelin and Beauty. I tried to write an essay about myelin the other day, but I failed. I think it started getting a bit too personal and a bit too dark, which wasn't my goal, and so it started to fall apart. If you don't know what myelin is, it is a material that builds up around the tail of neurons in a kind of sheath. This strengthens pathways in our brains. Whether it's studying for a test or developing muscle memory, myelin is the thing that is reinforcing your learning. One way it is commonly described is by likening the neuron pathways in your brain to roads. As you practice a certain pathway, myelin turns paths into roads and roads into highways. These roads also become paths of least resistance, however, and myelin will build up on whatever neuron pathways are frequently used. This is why anxiety seems to run in circles. The more you walk down a thought pattern, the more your brain is going to default to that pathway. I've been thinking about what I can see and how a lot more lately. I've been thinking about beauty, natural and designed. I spent New Year's with a bunch of friends in one of my friends' apartments on the 24th floor in the city. I've never seen such spectacular fireworks, and we were so close to them. Two of the buildings almost directly opposite were firing off fireworks for a little over 10 minutes. We were so close that some of the smoke wafted past us on the balcony. Earlier in the day, though, when the sun was still out, I was fixated by a different view from that balcony. In week one's video, I told you about my second least favorite place in the world. I'm not going to tell you about my least favorite place in the world, other than it is a different apartment in a different building in the city. When I stood on my friend's balcony, however, this other building was almost perfectly obscured. I'm certain that if the apartment was just a few meters further east, that you'd have a direct line of sight to my least favorite place in the world. I tried not to think about it, but every time I stood on that balcony, I found myself staring a hole through the building that was blocking the line of sight. I was retreading the thought pattern, making it harder and harder to look away. The myelin was crashing into a barely walked neighborhood, turning it into an unavoidable highway. I like that metaphor. Our brains should be like accessible and walkable cities. Highways are good when they are necessary, but in dense neighborhoods where many ideas cluster, we should be free to wander narrow and complex streets without freeways and on-ramps colliding into our paths. I wasn't staring a hole in that building when the fireworks started, though. It's not easy to avoid well-trodden but harmful thought patterns, but the best way is to take a different path. Don't just try to stop, continue, but in a different, better direction. The fireworks and my friends all around me put me on a much better path, and I was able to focus on the beauty. I'm struck by a story John Green tells in a video where he is trying to show his, at the time, very young son the sunset over a lake. John is holding his son in one arm, and in the other he is pointing out towards the sunset. His son follows his finger out towards its tip, and he says, "Leaf," as he plucks a beautiful leaf from a tree. A leaf John hadn't even noticed. You will find beauty everywhere if you look for it. And the more you look for it, the more you will find it. It will become a habit, and it will become a path of least resistance to look for and find beauty. I've been shedding a lot of myelin lately. I've been needing to. I hate to keep saying it, but the last 5 months have been the worst of my entire life. I have a lot of thought patterns that only serve to hurt me and make me afraid, and so I've been turning to a great many things, and beauty is one of them. I've been taking photos with my new camera, and just with my phone more often. I'm trying to more actively fill my life with new threads all over the place to pick up and follow down different, healthier paths. I've been writing, I've been attempting to draw, I've been messing around in various game engines, I've been trying to do healthy things that scare me, and I've just been trying to focus on what is beautiful to me. Slowly, I can feel myelin shedding like chips of carved wood. I'm getting better, and it's because I'm trying really hard, and that in itself is beautiful. Myelin isn't bad, you see. It's good, even. But it's made through habit. Some habits are easy to stick to, and some are hard to break. I've enjoyed writing this essay. It was fun, when my other attempt at writing about myelin was painful and abrasive. Writing this essay felt like forgiving myself. This essay was finished on the 15th of the 1st, 2023 at 1:55 a.m.